Hi guys, it's Jasmine Raquel, and if you know me, then you already know what I did off camera, okay? So today, I'm gonna be reacting to TROYCETV's video. It says TikTok drags Kevin Hart and Whoopi Goldberg. It doesn't say Whoopi Goldberg. For Whoopi, but we know who we're talking about, for giving poor people advice. Now, I haven't watched one of his videos in a while, but back when it was like the DMB Nation drama with TROYCETV, I'm Dante and Your Age, that's when I was like watching this video. So let's see. And I haven't heard about this actually, so I'm interested. I wonder what he's gonna be.
Hi, my loves. It's Destin Choice, and you're watching TROYCETV. So today's video, I wanted to get on here and talk about the issue with Whoopi Goldberg and the fact that she was a little bit out of touch, and the fact that she's getting a lot of backlash right now because people are not happy with what she had to say recently on The View.
Apparently, millennials and Gen Z have a much different view of the American dream than past generations. Data shows that soaring inflation, student debt, and limited room for advancement in the workplace has made them feel that milestones like affording a home, starting a family, excelling within the corporate structure are out of reach.
One kid is enough. Yeah.
Why is she saying it like that? Like with that tone, like that condescending tone.
Well, but you know, listen, every generation comes and wants to do better than their parents did. Every generation. But I'm sorry, if you only want to work 4 hours, it's going to be harder for you to get a house.
Oh, and don't mention 4 days. No, but
wow. To be honest, like, I can't really like take offense to this type of stuff, because when you see people who are in these positions, they're so far out of reach that it's like, just let them be ignorant. You know what I mean? Like, just let them be ignorant.
I feel for everybody that feels this, but I'm sorry. We busted our behinds. We had to bust our behinds because we didn't have the option of going back.
Y'all gave us the housing crisis, though. But
listen, we had all kinds of stuff.
No, it's true. But the one thing I'd say is millennials are statistically the first generation that's likely to do worse off than their parents.
You know what? That's what they said to us as well.
Okay, I'm a millennial. This whole conversation is insane. Like, all millennials should really just stop watching the show and see how their views look, and see how much their work pays off.
Every generation is told you're going to do worse than your parents, and you know what? People pick it up and they do what they do, and they raise themselves, and this is what you got to do. It's called being a good citizen. It's going to be harder for you to get a house.
Whoopi, you literally get paid millions of dollars a year to sit on your literal fucking ass and talk shit with your girls. Your day job is what I do at 9 p.m. on a Friday once I've finally finished all of my work and school duties, if I'm lucky, and I don't get paid to do it.
I'm sorry. If you only want to work 4 hours, it's going to be harder for you to get a house.
Whoopi Goldberg, let me help you here. The real reason why many millennials cannot afford to have children or buy a home is because your generation effed up the economy and handed it to us on a not-so-silver platter. For an example, let's take 1993, the year I was born. A modest home that cost $100,000 in 1993 now costs a whopping $225,000. And no, wages have not kept up with that rate of inflation. So millennials are not lazy. In fact, they are having to work more hours than your generation did to afford basic housing. And the cost of childcare has nearly tripled.
It's like, I feel like she's wasting her breath only because, like, Whoopi Goldberg is not gonna look at none of this shit on TikTok. I feel like she's not gonna address this. If she does address it, I'm very, very, very interested in what she's gonna say, because
tripled since the 90s. So us millennials are up against a completely unfair economy and having to work harder to attain and maintain the American dream.
People were so pissed off, they even went as far as digging up her past of problematic behaviors and her problematic dating history.
Whoopi Goldberg tells Gen Z and millennials that the reason they can't afford housing is because they only want to work 4 hours a day. Coming from a millionaire, this is so out of touch. What's funny to me is that after these statements, the internet dug up her past. All right, we're coming in hot, higgity hot. I mean, remember when she used to date Ted Danson, and as you could see, he's doing that, and she's just smiling at him, just look like she's worshiping him as he's just mocking her heritage. I mean,
when was this?
I know her ancestors is rolling in the grave. Sligo coming in even hotter. Polanski was not guilty of rape, says Whoopi Goldberg. I mean, obviously she is very problematic.
Personally, I haven't watched The View in many years. I don't understand why people still watch that shit. I don't know who the fuck is watching that shit. You know, personally, I checked out after the whole Raven-Symoné watermelon Drea situation.
God, right?
Take back racist and say discriminatory because I think that's a better word.
Yes, it is a much better word.
That's a better word, and I am very discriminatory against words like the ones that they were saying in those names. I'm not about to hire you if your name is Watermelon Drea. It's just not gonna happen. I'm not gonna hire you. That's not their fault. I would be such
This is ridiculous.
But I haven't checked for The View in a very long time. I don't know why people still watch that nonsense. But Whoopi Goldberg basically got a lot of backlash because she made it clear that this generation is lazy. First things first, there was a lot of good points in her statement, but I do feel like she's out of touch because, I mean, come on, Whoopi Goldberg. Let's be for real. You're rich. You're worth over $50 million. Let's be honest, you have been able to build a wealth for yourself for the past 35 years, and she's been rich and wealthy for a very long time. You know, there's been this big epidemic lately with a lot of rich people trying to tell regular folk how the fuck they should spend their money.
No, that's true, because, like, I saw some shit on, might be Kick, might be Twist the other day, where some dude, the one who talks about politics, I don't even watch his content or whatever, but I know his name, because he's very successful in what he does, but he was saying, like, oh, after 9 hours of streaming all day, my social battery is drained. This is way harder than any 9 to 5, and everybody just felt like he was out of touch and he was entitled. And I mean, what he was trying to say, he could have said it a lot better, don't get me wrong, but I think he's just out of touch as well, and that has been happening a lot. But this is the year that everything is gonna show for what it is. So
get in debt when you don't understand the breakdown of your finances. When you make money, split it in half. Create a fucking account, call it the tax account. Put half of that there, so as you make money, you always put this money in the tax account. I never got to worry of giving the government their money, because that money's over there. I'm never gonna touch that money, because it's not mine. So now off of my half, I'm gonna take...
And this is crazy because it's like, coming from somebody who got wealthy at such a young age, it's like, how can you tell us now what's just easy math when you know what, maybe he didn't experience what it's like being like a like in your mid-20s and like having just shit to do and shit come up and stuff to pay for and all that stuff. Maybe he just doesn't understand.
Take another half. This half is going over here.
Like,
this
sure, you can probably do this when you get like $100,000 just into your account.
A quarter of my financial gain.
Like, you have to start at zero.
What fucking money? Like, this is like for the average person. Like, people will literally sit up here and be like, you gotta do this and put your money here and put it in. Bitch, a lot of these people have fucking kids. A lot of these people that you're talking to have like 5, 10, 15 other people that they gotta worry about, take care of. Some people are taking care of their parents. Some people got these crazy ass fucking rent increases within the past 3 years.
Of, like,
everybody's rent went up. Your rent went up. This person's rent went up. The person behind you rent went up. Everybody's rent went up. So there's been this epidemic where a lot of rich and successful people are saying, see, you can't get rich off of 9 to 5. You can't do this. It's like, bitch, how out of touch are you? You know what I mean? The average person can't just get on YouTube and be an influencer and make millions of dollars, or start a fucking podcast and make millions of dollars. It's just not realistic. So it really does suck having to hear rich and successful people who are like insanely famous tell people what the fuck they're doing wrong. Now, there is some truth to what a lot of these people say. And I will admit that some people do play victim. It does suck to hear her say, you can't work 4 hours.
If you only want to work 4 hours, it's going to be harder for you to get a house.
But what does she mean? Like 4 hours a day, 4 hours a week? Like, what's she trying to say? Like, even if it is 4 hours a day, it's not if you only want to work 4 hours. Like, people have real problems. And I'm sorry, but the generation before us fucked us up bad. And people don't take mental health into account at all. People don't take anything. They don't take accountability for what they have done to make the next generation like this. And I feel like this generation of millennials, we're actually smart enough to see when somebody's trying to gaslight you. Like, I feel like this is just gaslighting. Like, if you want to work 4 hours, like, whoever said that they just want to work 4 hours, like, where's she getting this information from? Like, I'm so confused.
Who the fuck is working 4 hours a day at work? Some people are literally working at least 8 hours, and some people are working 4 to 5 days a week. The problem with a lot of these jobs is they want you to go above and beyond.
And if somebody's working 4 hours a day, they probably have something wrong with them. They probably have a mental disability. They probably have a physical disability. They probably have something wrong with them. You know what I mean? Like, nobody's just like, oh, 4 hours, okay, I think I'm gonna just head out now. Like, what?
Like 20 reference letters. They want you to fill out that long ass survey. Y'all know that long ass survey where they're like, here, do a questionnaire. How would you feel if you saw Bobby Miranda crying in the corner one day? What would you do?
All right, it's like a whole psyche evaluation.
Miranda, I'm trying to get paid. I will walk right past them and ignore them. See, they want you to fill out these long ass surveys. They want you to fill out this questionnaire. They want you to say, oh, your answers won't affect whether or not you got hired. You do the questionnaire, then in 2-3 days you get told, oh, based on your questionnaire, you didn't get the job. And it's like, what the hell did I get wrong? I thought these were my opinions. Mm-hmm. So it's just little stuff like that people don't understand. There's a lot of adversities. A lot of these jobs will say, we're hiring. But what they really mean is, we're hiring, but it depends on your experience level. It depends if you have a college education, because we all...
Right? It depends on your credit score, some random ass shit. Like, it depends on your hair color. It depends on... It's insane. Like... They don't get it. Like, Indeed is not even Indeed anymore. Like, it's not. It's not.
Also want to hire people who are in college because we feel bad. But if you do have a college education, we also want some reference.
And I think that it's also insane how you get to a point when you're studying your career, you get to a peak in your career. Next thing you know, COVID. Now everybody's fucked. You get what I'm saying? Like, and it's like people who are in my generation were on the way up. Do you know what I mean? Like, I don't know.
Reference letters, and if you do have some reference letters, we also want at least 5 to 6 years of experience. If you have 5-6 years experience, we also want you to work for shit pay for about 6 days a week, and we also want you to do some overtime, and we also want you to attend meetings. We're not going to pay you that much, but still attend the meetings. Oh, and also, we want you to know that you're going to be dealing with a toxic work environment, and that all of us are fake, gossipy, and that a lot of us will do anything we can to throw you under the bus, so that way we can get rid of you, and we can hire somebody else that we personally know. That's what a lot of these jobs are.
That's another thing. Like, when you work at a place and you think that they would like promote within the company, but then they just find somebody else, and then it's like every manager is like a revolving door of people who you can't even build a connection with, who don't even know what's going on because you've worked there longer than they did, but they're still the man. It just doesn't make sense to me.
They're not necessarily hiring, and they're also not paying. Who the hell is gonna sit up here and stack up hella?
And literally since COVID, they're gonna be like, oh, we're still recovering from COVID and nobody's able to get a raise right now. Oh, we're still recovering from COVID, nobody's gonna get a raise right now. They're gonna say that for like the next 5 years. Like, they're gonna say that for the next 5 years, and there's probably gonna be another wave of it or some shit.
The boxes for $12 an hour. Who was gonna sit up here and wash all these things and wash test tubes and go through this, or stand on their feet folding clothes?
My name is Rachel Nelson. I'm a term 5 school of medicine student, and today I'll be visiting the General Hospital as part of...
Sorry, y'all.
All day listening to freaking Forever 21 music to not be compensated for their time,
for people who
and
work
to not
in,
get
like,
insurance.
Right.
And then to be told, if we catch someone stealing and you let them get away, we're going to deduct it from your pay.
No paid time off.
Like, these jobs aren't hiring. And then you're having to compete with so many freaking people at that. You know, you're having to compete with people who are, for one, 50, 60 years old, who literally have been at the same position at that same job for 35 years. And because they refuse to retire because of how expensive things are getting, you're still having to compete with granny and granddaddy who are in their 70s and won't retire. So the new generation of people in their 20s and 30s who went to college and are trying to get a decent job.
Even in politics, though. Oh my God, why did I freeze the frame like that? Hold on.
Can't get no...
Okay. Even in politics, though, like, in politics, I feel like, first of all, I feel like the president needs to be younger so they can understand what the fuck is going on here. Okay. 2, I feel like the House of Representatives, they need to like all retire. We need just a young, at least go down one generation, just one. We just need a fresh faces. But none of them want to step down and retire. You're a fucking raisin, bro. You're a sneeze away from death, but you still want to sit there and decide what gets passed and what's not. When you've been probably having this stable career the whole time, on your feet, probably nice house, nice car. You don't even know what's going on, bro.
Freaking, like, they can't get no freaking promotion. They can't get this job. So that's why it's insulting and insensitive for rich people who are super successful and super rich and famous to tell all these people, well, you're not doing enough. Well, you should do a little more. And forgive me, I do feel as though that Whoopi Goldberg did have good intentions. She was basically saying that there's a lot of entitled people. And I'm going to piggyback off that real quick. But Whoopi Goldberg doesn't remember how badly she struggled. Whoopi Goldberg remembers how much she struggled, but I don't think she really remembers how bad she had it.
My back hurts.
I'm gonna be real. Whoopi Goldberg, she had the right message, but she's also very out of touch because Whoopi Goldberg, if y'all didn't know, she came from nothing. Whoopi Goldberg came from a mother who was on welfare.
I really don't care where she came from because it's like she don't even understand that concept anymore, so it doesn't even matter. And also, like, I don't think she had good intentions with that message because, first of all, the way she said it was just terrible. What she said was just ignorant. And it's like, if she really wanted to do something about it, how about you donate to taking, like, 10,000 people and taking, like, $100 off some of their shit or something. Or, like, 1,000 people, take off, like, 10,000 of debt for those 1,000 people. Do something, like, you...
Whoopi Goldberg was a junkie and a heroin addict, and she also dropped out of high school. She had her daughter.
Look, a junkie and a heroin addict. I've never done heroin in my life. Okay? Ever. I wouldn't even think to do that. Okay? But she chose to do that. But we making the bad decisions.
Very young, back in the early 70s, and she comes from nothing. So Whoopi Goldberg built her legacy. She grew up in the era of Jim Crow, redlining, and she definitely has seen a lot in this lifetime. She has had a lot of adversities, and she does have a point. She said that she had to bust her ass to get to where she is. She's like a dark-skinned black woman who tried to make it in Hollywood during the era of racism, segregation, and when there weren't that many roles for women that looked like her, and she managed to succeed, prevail, and be a stellar actress. There's so many people who are now sex workers, and yes, a lot of people who you wouldn't even expect are doing sex workers. Hell, Rachel Dolezal recently got blasted for having an OnlyFans and doing X work. A lot of people's incomes are drying up. Not just your favorite celebrities, but a lot of normal people. If I were to tell all y'all watching right now, what would you do if your current source of income dried out for at least 1 month? If your current income that you had wasn't sustainable or useful in 1 month, what would you do? A lot of people, because of how hard things are getting, don't even have at least a month's worth of rent to cover their rent. So if a month were to go by, a lot of anyone wouldn't be able to pay all their bills. Car note, their kids' preschool, their kids' boarding school, pay for their insurance, pay for their housing insurance, pay for their mortgage insurance, pay for this. A lot of people have to use a bulk of their income to sustain a decent and happy life. And a lot of these jobs out here just firing people left and right. Everybody wants to do all these type of things. Everybody's looking to change careers. I know so many people who've been working in the beauty field or the tech field, and they're looking to switch careers. I got motherfuckers who work in tech who are saying, how do I get into social media? How do you do all that stuff?
Yeah, I'm in the culinary industry right now. I went to college for baking and pastry arts. But I want to be an influencer, like, you know what I mean? I am an influencer now because, I mean, there's people watching me, but it's just, I don't know. I'm a great person, you know what I mean? Entertaining, you know what I mean? And I felt like the reason why I did that in the first place and I didn't pursue this is because it was instilled in me that you have to go to school, go to college, then you have to find a husband, get married, have a kid. Oh wait, you have to get a house before all of that. And it's like, what the fuck? Like, how? How?
I have fucking accountants that I know saying, how do you do like this with social media? How do you like monetize this with social media? It's like, bitch, ain't you in tech? Ain't you in accounting? That's a good hustle. And I get you can never have too much money, but again, with the way things are going and everyone trying to buy a house, it's not going to be realistic. You won't get you a decent house unless you're willing to cop up at least $500,000 US, and that's if you live in a medium-sized city. These 9 to 5.
I actually look at the average median income of a house in Jersey, and it was like 549,000, somewhere in that era. I said that era, somewhere in that range.
Job, this clocking in, clocking
I was
out,
trying to say
it's not working. It's trying to climb this whole corporate ladder, and yeah, well, at least my job is okay. At least I'm comfortable. How comfortable is your job if they're not going to compensate you for all this time, energy, and effort? It's so bad to the point where people having to take all their work from work and bring it at home. You having to check emails and go to meetings on Zoom, or have long ass meetings and check emails and all that stuff. You have to deal with Karens at work just to not even get paid and compensated for your time, just for them to expect you to give a 2-week notice and train your replacement when they can just fire you on the spot.
Damn, my knee hurt.
Things have changed, and I do think this generation is a generation that's not settling. But I also have to sometimes look at the things that Whoopi Goldberg is saying when she says a lot of people are entitled and need to work. She made it clear that she had her adversities, and no matter what, she worked through them. And guess what? Her adversities were much harder than any of our adversities, or probably just as hard. She endured a lot of racial discrimination.
She's not on heroin no more, at least
dark-skinned black woman, and a dark-skinned black woman with locks at that in the entertainment industry. And then she also had to come up during Jim Crow. And then also, she was a junkie. So let's be real for a second. Whoopi Goldberg definitely has a lot to say when she says that a lot of people can adapt to their environment. That's just what the world is like. You have to adapt. Yes, a lot of these jobs aren't hiring, but there's still things you can do. Part of the reason why a lot of people aren't able to elevate in their career field, or people keep doing the same thing they were doing 2 years ago, is because a lot of y'all don't realize one thing you need to do, and that's networking. Networking is one of the most important things you can do. Ask anyone that works.
What else happened? Who else said something about Kevin Hart? Oh, was that little clip that he had in there? That was it?
A lot of people aren't getting.
I'm scared to be by myself. You do not have to be scared. You can count on all of us.
Much out of going to university. You got all these student loans. You're trying to find a job so you can take care of.
All right, hold on.
And not use social media, not pour into my brand anymore. I got friends who have literally told me, oh yeah, I work for this company. You could literally use me as a reference. You can't keep relying on these corporate companies and these corporate jobs to hire you, because you want to know something? The minute they don't like you no more.
Yeah, you're disposable.
The minute the kisser-upper or the goody two-shoes wants to snitch on you and try to plot and plan and have everybody go against you, that is when they will get rid of your ass in a heartbeat. And guess what? You'll have no employment. You need to make sure that you go out of your way to use all the time that's presented in front of you. There's so many resources that this
Okay, y'all. I'm getting a little bit bored. Maybe it's my ADHD, but that was a good video. WVid. Anyway. Yeah, I don't really like... What the hell? I don't really like what she said. Like... I don't know. Like I just said, they're out of touch. They're out of touch. It's like we can't even waste energy to get mad about the shit. All right. I love you guys. See you in the next one. Peace. Peace.